Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going through my AFL Fantasy Team Reveal for round 20 and also going through my VC and captaincy options for it, because this week I just feel like, and this is something that's built up quite a lot this year, is just cash gen has really sort of escaped me. And I can't really do much about it anytime this to end the year now. And it's something that I've just missed. So that's something I need to improve on, and something that I'm doing with AFLW Fantasy, it feels like, this year. But yeah, it feels like I made a big mistake early on that's sort of flown through, I would say, in terms of everything that's happened for the AFL season, but something I'll definitely try and improve on to end the year out, because yeah, can't do that again. But anyway, let's jump into this video. So obviously, with the news of Doherty retiring, I could have potentially decided to keep him in the side for one last round, but I feel like, and this is something that I feel like he's going to go well. The problem is that if I keep him in the side and then I cop another injury, it's like I'm creating almost a forced trade out. So for him to do really well, I'd need him to go like 160, 170 himself, just because then that would almost take the value. It would give me some value in case of another injury, etc. So yeah, I just can't see it, and that's why I'm sticking away from holding him this week. Let me just fix these up quickly. That should be that. That should be that there, and that's in price order. So I could have easily held him, could have done some other moves, but in the end, I did go with these ones. Harry Ralston, I don't expect to play. So if the likes of, and we know this because they'll be playing earlier, this Essendon Western Bulldogs matchup, if we know that one of Zach Johnson or Angus Clark is sub, and we know, and we will know earlier, later today as well, if Ralston is straight up dropped, but there's a massive chance that 2 out of the 3 of them are sub, out of Clark, Johnson, and also the likes of Ralston. But if Ralston is sub, I'm going to be swapping him out. And the good thing is, because of the timing as well, we will know the GWS sub before the start of the Essendon and Western Bulldogs game. So yeah, I want to basically be able to get whoever's going to be sub out of the side, and whoever's going to play a full game is probably the best chance of actually hitting their break even. I know he's got a 75 break even, and Angus Clark has a 52. So he's not really going to move, and Harry Ralston a 53. So if they're non-sub, all of them, which I find awfully surprising if Josh Kelly is coming back for, is it Josh Kelly coming back for GWS? I find it, as well as some other guys, find it surprising that if Ralston isn't straight up dropped or just made sub again after being sub on the weekend. So yeah, that's my reasoning behind Ralston and also Johnson, Clark, etc. is just trying to get the most cash sort of realized out of them and the least cash loss out of them in general. So that's why I'm going to be currently trading out Ralston, but it could change. I didn't really like any of the rookie options at the moment for to play on field, because I needed one guy to play on field. Let me just fix these up there. McRae's not my captain. That was just me putting him on field for the likes of a Cooper Simpson there. Almost said Cooper Harvey. And so, yeah, that's the reasoning behind that. And sort of the rookies there, and just trying to, because I need to realize the cash that I've got in Clark, that I've got in Johnson, that I've got in Boxall, etc., because that is potentially another 600k, and 600k is basically getting Teakle up to a premium, and then having Tom McCarthy as my only non-premium, I would say, almost in a way. Luke Parker is semi-non-premium, so he can be easily upgraded, Luke Parker, if he has a good week, to a premium, etc., from Gross and a little bit of cash, because Gross is 90k, and I'm sure that there's probably, or even Boxall, etc., there's someone out there that's going to be available to get upgraded. I did go with Whitfield in the end. I just didn't like, if we look at all positions, all prices in the 900k bracket, And I know that there's going to be, if we just go through here and go the bottom end of the 900k, I could have gone like a Lachie Neale, but I was like, he's coming up against Gold Coast. Earlier in the year, he went 90 against them. I don't really like Lachie Neale in AFL Fantasy. John Noble, I could have potentially gone there. 92 average for the year. I don't think he's going to be top lining though. And then you've got Chera, don't really like that. And then you've got some injury guys. Jack Crisp could be an interesting one, but he hasn't really shown the ability to go really top end. We see a top of a 119 for the year, not really top end. Will Ashcroft could be a guy that you could potentially look at, but I just feel like in that in the Brisbane midfield, the Lions midfield, his top for the year is a 119 as well. But he has a lot of sort of 110s, 115s, and I don't know if, what did he go against? He went his top against Gold Coast. Then he has Collingwood, who he went, if we look here, he went 41 against them. So yeah, I just, and then he has Sydney, who earlier on the year, he went 66 against them coming back. Was he coming back from, no, he wouldn't have been coming back from injury. So yeah, and then he's got for a Fremantle. If we just look here, has he played for a Fremantle this year? No, he hasn't, because that's what they do. So I'm just concerned about that. Could I go like an Ed Richards 121 a couple weeks ago, 131? He's probably a guy you could potentially look at who's definitely turned it around this year and has Essendon. How did he go against GWS earlier in the year? 92. How did he go against Essendon earlier in the year? Went 103. And then Melbourne as well. Did he play earlier this year? Nope. And then West Coast as well. Hasn't played them, it doesn't look like, just off the top of my head. And then for Fremantle, he has went an 83. So someone like an Ed Richards could actually be a decent selection, I would say. He does have a 111 break even. He does really have a good matchup though. So that could be one that you could look at there. Roy Laird, no. Nick Martin's obviously injured. Tristan Cherry's suspended. Tim Taranto as well. He's been in a little bit of good form here. 124, 132 last 2 weeks. So I could look at him, but I don't think so. So maybe it is just down to the likes of as I was saying, with an Ed Richards or a Lachie Whitfield. And yeah, maybe I go Ed Richards and just hope that he's going to turn it around, etc. If we go back to this and look at Ed Richards in general. If we go to player summary here and get up Ed Richards, that could be someone that I potentially do like a poll on, etc., to figure out if I want an Ed Richards or if I want a Lachie Whitfield. Because we've seen in the past he's gone 109, 131, 119. The problem is he's got 141 as his high against against Richmond in 2024. And what's he gone against Essendon in the last couple matchups? Because we can look at that. He has gone against Essendon 103, 76, 73, 87. Let's just look at his CBAs and all that. 75% CBAs. I just don't like, he's averaging 97 for the year. He hasn't really, he's tagged in this game against Geelong, and then he was also tagged in this game against St Kilda. He's also had a 64 in here against Sydney, where he was realistically, I think, run with at least, and then Hawthorn 62. So it'll certainly be, and then last week against the likes of Brisbane, he went 72. So yeah, that's intriguing to think about. So yeah, I'll probably put a poll up between those two because it's an easy swap basically between them, because I've got Jack Sinclair that can just go into the back line in Lachie Whitfield's place, and then you just put the likes of Ed Richards in that M6 spot. So having all that said, and then Teakle is basically the only rookie that is like worth even looking at if we just go by last round for rookies here, and then go here. You'll see Buller at 67 is the best in the 200k range, and I don't like him. Blackiston in the 300k range, and I don't like him. And then in the 400k range would be Teakle top. And then you've got Buderick at 432k. I just don't like his option. Remember when we almost started him last year to start? That was awkward. And then Archie Perkins at 460k. He could get game time. I just don't believe in him, in his scoring ability, to be honest with you. And then Carroll back here, 74. He's going to start making probably some cash again, which will be annoying, but it is what it is there. And then Hardiman potentially is another guy you could look at, but you can see here 19, 31, 33. So after that 106 is kind of just a what the heck happened in game type of scenario. So yeah, he's averaging 47 for a reason. So don't want to go there. So then that's basically all the trades done. And now we're up to the VC and C candidates. And you will see here with the likes of... So if we go through game by game, Carlton versus Hawthorn. I don't think I have any players in that game. Just looking off the top of my head, I don't have any players in that game. So disregard that game. Essendon Western Bulldogs. I could have potentially a Ed Richards. Let's just go with that. I will potentially have Sam Darcy will be in that game. A Matthew Kennedy. Do I want to go there? Don't think so. Then I'll also have, it was Western Bulldogs versus Essendon. I'll have a Zach Merritt. What did he go last time against the Western Bulldogs? He went 54. No, thank you. Marcus Bontempelli against the Essendon side last time went 101. So maybe not. And then you've got any in the back line. Don't think I do. So that is that with Essendon and Western Bulldogs. So don't really like them. Then we go to, he went 60 against them last time. But if you look at that, that was the game before he went on the most ridiculous run that I've ever seen. And then if we also go to, and this is something I should have already brought up as well, it's defense versus position, but I'm going to actually need this to be logged in to grab it. So let me just quickly do that for you guys. So yeah, let me just quickly do that so that it can actually be logged in for you guys and I can get the details on who's going to be the best players to grab in their respective positions. So the ruck line, you can see GWS are actually a +7 in the last little bit, but Stanley and Blickarves kind of negate each other, I feel like. Then you've got -6 for Flynn. He's just kind of terrible. Flynn went 138, but that would have been against against Madden. So you can kind of see how they contradict each other a little bit. Vincentini, Nankervis, Fort, etc. So maybe the likes of a Brody Grundy isn't the best VC candidate, especially if Sydney go with the extra tool in there, the extra ruckman in Peter Laddams, but we'll see what they do there. So maybe not Brody Grundy. So maybe that leans to more of a Marcus Bontempelli VC. And then we go into the Saturday games. You got the Brisbane versus Gold Coast. I don't think I see really that being a massive VC candidate for any of them, but I don't know if I have any Brisbane or Zorko would be the only one. What did he go against Gold Coast last time out? A clean 100. I don't see that being a good game for him. Fremantle versus West Coast. This one could be a tough game just because it's a rivalry game, the Western Derby game. So yeah, I just don't see the likes of a Caleb Sarong doing too well in that game. Neither do I see any of the West Coast players scoring too well in that either. So that's why I'd stay clear of that. Obviously someone is going to score well. It'd probably be like a Luke Jackson, but I'm just going to stay clear of that, to be honest with you. And then you've got Saturday, 7:35, you've got the North versus Geelong game. That could be a Bailey Smith big game for him. Last time, did he play North Melbourne or has he not played North Melbourne this year? Not played them this year. As well as the likes of the North Melbourne boys of Harry Sheezel. How did he go last time out? Hasn't played them this year. How has he gone in the past against Geelong? If we look at opposition stats against Geelong, he averages 109. So there's a potential, but that would be a very, very late VC. Then you get the Saturday late game between Adelaide and Port Adelaide. Don't like any of those ones. Butters is probably going to score well, but I just don't think that's almost captaincy territory. I'm not confident about him in a captaincy vibe because you've got the end result of a Nick Dacos captaincy game. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Who does St Kilda have? Melbourne. So the likes of Royal Marshall is going to struggle against Max Gawn, I feel like. But hopefully he can pull out a big enough game. And yeah, so I don't really see any glaring matchups. Let's go last 5 just to see if there's any glaring matchups that I missed. Hawthorn, St Kilda, Fremantle are the big ruck ones. And Fremantle have West Coast. St Kilda have Melbourne. Hawthorn have... Who do Hawthorn have again? Hawthorn have the matchup against Carlton. that's negated really. GWS, that is more so. I'm pretty sure this game was against Madden, and that's the reason behind that, because the likes of, and I've forgotten his name, if I remember it here, the GWS ruckman in the likes of Briggs, he came back post-bye from injury, and that's the reason why the scoring is so off there. So that I wouldn't take that into account. Then you got West Coast, etc. That'll be good for Darcy and Jackson. And then you've got Essendon as well. That'll be good for Tim English and Richmond, etc. Then in the midfield, you've got the West Coast matchup. So maybe a guy like Sarong, even though it's Derby Day, will do well. And then you've got, Marcus Bontempelli is probably the good VC. And then North Melbourne, that'll be Geelong's guy. So that will be like a Bailey Smith bounce back game. General forwards, Sydney. Let's actually go to Keys for more of the Darcy. North Melbourne, that'll be against Geelong, Western Bulldogs. So that'll be good for Essendon. Essendon actually for Keys are middle of the pack, and actually haven't been giving up major scores to anyone, I would say, in the last couple of weeks, which is a good thing, I would say. Well, not a good thing because a lot of us have Sam Darcy. And then for general defenders, you've got Essendon being a good one. So that'll be good for like Bailey Dale, well, designated kickers. Bailey Dale has a really good run. Richmond have, who do Richmond have? Richmond have, where are they? They are back here. So that'll be good if Dacos goes back there. Then you got Geelong for the likes of Harry Sheasel. So that'll be good. And then Sydney is one of the worst ones for general defenders. So that's why I will probably be sticking clear of the likes of a, and maybe I can do that change actually, is going to a Bailey Dale. If we look at Dale's run home here quickly, he's 894k and 894k has Essendon. So let's actually quickly just do something here with this, and then I will end this off. We've got season-long statistics for the defenders is what I want. So season-long strength, and then designated kickers. And then we go to averages, St Kilda, Geelong, North Melbourne, Collingwood, etc. Western Bulldogs plus 1.74. They have the really good Essendon matchup, basically. And they avoid the, the Sydney matchup, I would think, is probably in red. Where's Sydney is in orange, and then Sydney is still in orange, which is surprising. I'm surprised that that's not updated, given that they are the hardest matchup in the last 5 games. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, St Kilda as well. So Naz and Sinclair, that'll be good for them. And then you've got Geelong as well. So that'll probably be good for the likes of Max Holmes in the next couple of weeks with those games there. North Melbourne, etc. So yeah, I could potentially move to, I'll probably do a poll up on Twitter with regards to Ed Richards, Lockie Whitfield and Bailey Dale for that premium slot for the remainder of the season. But if you guys did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I will see you back here later for the tips for round 20 of the AFL season. Bye guys.